We ask him, the Most High, to continue to show his mercy on our leader, Prophet Muhammad, his household and companions and followers, till the day of accountability. Today we are discussing again among the causes of insecurity and poverty in this country. Of course, we have mentioned a few earlier on this member. Among, of course, is lack of patriotism. People doesn't have regard for this nation. They undermine and underrate the position of this country, which Allah has decreed you being given birth to in this country. You don't have any other country better than Nigeria. You don't have it. You must only be dreaming. Now, even where you are running to, it is because they love their country and they develop their country. If they behave the way you are behaving, then they couldn't have anybody to go in the world. And it's a shame on you for claiming that Nigeria is bad and you are running away. It's a sign of cowardness. Rasulullah ﷺ has given us the most excellent example. The most excellent example. He was given birth to in Mecca. Mecca was so corrupt in all dimensions. Spiritually they are corrupt. Economically they are corrupt. Socially they are corrupt. Mecca is a good style example you can mention. It's a good case study. People who named him Al-Amin, the trustworthy. And that name was given to him in Mecca by consensus of Meccans, regardless of any tribe, because he belonged to Quraysh tribe. But all other tribes submitted that he is a trustworthy personality. Until at the age of 40, when he called them to accept oneness of Allah, the concept of monetizing, which was preached by prophets before him, they debunked it and rejected it and fought him. That was the point of separation between Rasulullah ﷺ and the Meccans. This is a crime. The most highest level of criminality. For them to reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for them to have in the Kaaba about 360 idols. There is no criminality beyond this criminality. Nigerian crime has not reached that level. More dangerously for Meccans again, they were so brutal. They oppressed the companions. They killed some of them. They lay some of them on the fire alive. They did all sorts of inhuman maltreatment of the companions. Life became unbearable for the companions of Mecca, including Rasulullah ﷺ. He was sanctioned for 3 years. He has to leave Mecca for Medina. With all this. Another crime is sending Rasulullah ﷺ out of Mecca. It's a crime the globe has never witnessed. The personality of Rasulullah ﷺ being sent away from his own city. It's a crime. Rasulullah ﷺ could have right away Mecca out of map of the world. But he insisted in being patriotic and love for Mecca with all these criminalities. He said that if not because Meccans rejected me and removed me from Mecca, Mecca is the dearest land on earth for me. With all these criminalities. Not only that, in Medina, where he's getting ground and companions are becoming bigger in number, and the empire is becoming wider and wider and bigger, still Rasulullah ﷺ's mind is in Mecca. Severally, he's raised his hand up to Allah, that, oh Allah, turn my face to Mecca in prayers. I don't want to be facing Jerusalem. I want to be facing Mecca. Severally. قد نرى تقلب وجهك في السماء فلنولينك قبلة ترضاها فولي وجهك شطر المسجد الحرام وحيث ما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطرا. وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ وَاللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ أَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. And the verses are not only this, all on the point of telling Allah, oh Allah, return my face back to Mecca. Return my face back to Mecca. And Allah said, okay, we have returned your face back to Mecca. Look, at the point of this returning, idols are still in Mecca. Persecution on the companion is still on Mecca. Muslims are banned from entering Mecca. But he's still on Mecca. So you have no justification. No Nigerian, and especially a Muslim, should have any justification for not being patriotic in this nation of ours, Nigeria. Of course, the number of those who are not patriotic may not be many, but most of them are influential. Most of them are in the corridor of power. Most of them have economical connection. That's why their impact will be more than the impact of ordinary layman, who cannot even impact on himself, talk less on impacting on the nation. But Nigerians are people who love peace. They are not violent in nature. They are peace lovers. Majority of Nigerians. Unfortunately, we are tempted and tried by influential individuals who has no patriotism in them. And that's why we are facing the consequence. Now, the advice is that every Nigerian should stand on his feet to see the contribution he or she is going to contribute in reforming this nation. Don't even think of any consequence. The consequence has happened. The consequence already has happened. Where a fellow Nigerian is being kidnapped and he stays for months in the hands of criminals, and there is no any action reasonable. Already it has happened. It has happened. Very clearly. So don't think of any consequence. The consequence is already by your door. It's just that you are not affected directly, but you have been affected as a Nigerian, because Nigerians are in this dilemma. Another program which was programmed to destabilize Nigeria is the issue of drugs. One may not reason to go close to understanding that, but it is a reality. It is a good calculation to destabilize Nigeria. Start by destabilizing the energetic youth of Nigerians by pushing them into drug programs. Today, drugs are being consumed in this Nigeria. It is only researchers that can tell you the figure. And the northern part of Nigeria is targeted more, because that's where the Muslim concentration of population is. And they are the future generation of reformation in this nation. They were targeted. Some cities are necessarily targeted, like Kano. I have a bad experience in Gwarimpa, here in FCT. And most of these youths are Muslims. 90% of those who are dealing with this are Muslims. The buyer and the seller. As we have said earlier, the retired General Marwa is doing his best, but the work is beyond that. It's beyond that. It's a calculated measure to destroy Nigeria through drugs. We have to fight it seriously, or else in the next decade, you will see wonders. You see surprise. Well, these are those who are not patriotic. They don't love Nigeria. They don't want to contribute. They want to spoil and destroy this nation. You may not accept this, but you must accept the fact that Prince Adeyemi Matthew has created an agency imported into Nigerian system of administration and governance. Whether you like this or no, is a reality on ground now. How imagine can an individual smuggle in a government in a government? You must be mentally affected if you are dreaming that it's only Adeyemi who is behind this saga. You must be foolish too if you are thinking till now that it is only Adeyemi who is in this saga. you need your brain to be checked by medical personnel. It is a collaboration of individuals who are influential in this country. A poor person cannot bear try it. And that tells you the corner of our problems in this nation. Leadership and influential individuals. A system of governance, unlegitimate, unlegal. I have heard, and I'm happy when I had it, that the federal government has charged Adeyemi into court. That's very good. That's very good. It's not new in Nigeria. You charge a criminal to court and you hear nothing after all. The case of Akali there is there, who was brutally killed in Plateau. Have you heard of anything? So it's not a new thing to Nigerians, especially those who are following up. But the reality is that you must know these three facts. How imagine on earth will Adeyemi have his offices in the federal secretariat? How? Is it a secretariat for rentage? Ask yourself, is this secretariat for rentage? You will just boggle in and then open office and enter? They are not sincere. Look, this person also has been budgeted, his agency is budgeted for. Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Commission. That is the name. How beautiful. To confuse an ordinary person who is illiterate. This big language, this English combined together. Presidential, Foreign, Intervention, Promotion Commission. With all our CAC, with all our respected individuals, this personality has his bank account with the federal bank of this nation. He's having an account there. CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, he's having an account there. Are you telling me that it's only Adeyemi who is behind the saga? Now, I am just quoting this to inform you that Nigerians are not patriotic. And until we are, there will be no meaningful reformation. Your job is only shouting on the media, bribing the media to tell you that things are going well, and they are not going well. They are not going well. اللهم اعز الاسلام والمسلمين ودمر اعداءنا اعداءك اعداء الدين اللهم عليك بالكفره والفسق والفجره الذين يكيدون للاسلام كيدا اللهم عليك بالذين يكيدون لنيجيريا كيدا اللهم عليك بالذين يكيدون لنيجيريا كيدا اللهم عليك بالذين يكيدون لنيجيريا كيدا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد